Hello and welcome to Raju Notes channel, your pit stop for weekly current affairs updates. The updates tailor-made for students taking all kinds of competitive exams like UPSC, civils, defense and placement interviews. Please subscribe to the channel and stay updated every Sunday. Indian public sector oil companies have signed a one-year deal to import liquefied petroleum gas (LPG) from the United States. In a social media post, Petroleum and Natural Gas Minister Hardeep Singh Puri said the companies will import around 2.2 million tons per annum of LPG, which will be sourced from the US Gulf Coast. He said government has been diversifying its LPG sourcing to provide secure, affordable supplies of LPG to the citizens. Mr. Puri informed that a team of officials from Indian Oil Corporation, Bharat Petroleum Corporation Limited, and Hindustan Petroleum Limited have visited the US and engaged in discussions with major US producers over the last few months. The Democratic Republic of Congo and the M23 rebel group have signed a framework agreement in Qatar to move towards a peace deal aimed at ending fighting in eastern Congo. Representatives from both sides signed up the agreement this week in the Qatari capital Doha. M23, accused of getting support from neighboring Rwanda, captured Goma, eastern Congo's largest city, in January and expanded to North Kivu and South Kivu province. Rwanda denies the backing. The fighting has killed thousands and displaced hundreds of thousands more this year, while escalating the risk of full scale regional war. The United Arab Emirates has officially made the digital dirham a legal form of money, marking a major step in its push towards fully digital financial system. A new federal law passed this week places e-dirham on the same level as cash, giving the central bank of the UAE the authority to issue and regulate it. The move is part of the country's wider digital dirham policy for 2025. To mark the launch, the government completed its first payment using the digital dirham, setting a cross border transaction on the M Bridge platform in less than 2 minutes. The eighth edition of the joint military exercise Ajay Warrior between India and the United Kingdom commenced on Monday at Mahajan Field Firing Range in Bikaner. This biannual exercise will continue until November 30. A total of 240 soldiers from both countries are participating in this exercise. From India, soldiers of the Sikh regiment are taking part. Colonel Neeraj Beniwal stated that the primary focus of the exercise is counter-terrorism operations in urban areas. It is being conducted under a United Nations mandate. The objective of the exercise is to facilitate the exchange of best combat skills and experiences between the two armies and to enhance their ability to operate together in a complex situations. The Electronic and Information Technology Ministry announced the second tranche of electronic component manufacturing scheme in New Delhi on Monday. Under the second tranche, 17 applications have been approved with an outlay of over 7,000 crore rupees. On the occasion, Electronics and Information Technology Minister Ashwini Vaishnaw handed over the approval letter to the representatives of the companies. Briefing the media, Mr. Vaishnaw said that these 17 projects will generate production of worth rupees 60,000 crore and over 11,000 jobs. The Department of Atomic Energy DAE announced two major scientific advancements with significant applications in healthcare and rare earth research. DAE, in collaboration with Cognisis Private Limited, launched Colonox, India's first nitric oxide releasing wound dressing for diabetic foot ulcers (DFU). Developed by Bhabha Atomic Research Center (BARC) and clinically validated through phase 2 and phase 3 trials, the dressing has now received DCGI approval for commercial manufacturing. The Department of Atomic Energy Secretary and Atomic Energy Commission Chairman Dr. Ajit Kumar Mohanty said The innovation will provide affordable and effective treatment options for diabetic patients and reflects the department's commitment to applying nuclear sciences for societal benefits. Civil Aviation Minister K. Ram Mohan Naidu said that India now ranks as the world's third largest aviation market, reflecting the country's rapid economic growth and expanding connectivity. The minister made these remarks while inaugurating the Airport Authority of India Pavilion at the 44th India International Trade Fair in New Delhi on Monday. Talking to the media, Mr. Naidu emphasized on the inculcation of civil aviation knowledge in children, expanding technical understanding and inspiring a skilled workforce for the future. The minister highlighted that Pavilion showcases aircraft operations and offers visitors, especially students, an insight into aviation technology and air. Mr. Naidu stated that the aviation sector's strong performance is a key driver of India's journey towards a self reliant and Vikasit Bharat, supported by continuous modernization of airport infrastructure across the country. The Indian Navy will commission the first of the Mahe class anti submarine warfare shallow water craft named Mahe in Mumbai on 24th of November. Mahe is built with over 80% indigenous content and it will showcase the country's growing mastery in warship design, construction, and integration. It added that ships embodies agility, precision, endurance, and other qualities that are vital for dominating the littorals. The ship is designed to hunt submarines, conduct coastal patrols, and secure the nation's vital maritime approaches. The Mahe class will represent the cutting edge of Atmanirbhar Bharat initiative in naval ship design and construction. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar called on Amir of Qatar, Tamim bin Ahmed Al Thani in Doha on Saturday. Dr. Jaishankar conveyed the warm greetings of the Prime Minister Modi and reiterated the commitment of a stronger India Qatar relations. The foreign minister valued Amir of Qatar's guidance on expanding collaboration and exploring new opportunities. Dr. Jaishankar also met Qatar's Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs Mohammed bin Abdul Rahman Al Thani in Doha. In a social media post, the foreign minister informed that they both exchanged views on development in the West Asia as well as border, regional, and global issues. Dr. Jaishankar expressed happiness over his meeting and said that the discussions covered key aspects of strategic partnership, including energy, trade, investment, and people to people connections. Sagar Defense, an IDEX Innovation for Defense Excellence winner, has secured the Accelerating the Autonomous Robotic Revolution Challenge under the Vista track at Dubai Air Show 2025, earning US dollars 5,000 prize for its autonomous concept and system. IDEX congratulated the team, noting that the achievement highlights India's growing footprint in defense innovation. Saga Defense said it pitch centered on Genesis, described as a boat in a box concept built around an AI powered platform agnostic module that can be retrofitted onto existing vessels. Sanyukta Singh from the company said, "We were grateful to give a 3-minute pitch to the grand jury and was also awarded for the same. As part of the Startup Vista Challenge, we brought forward our concept of Genesis, an AI powered solution that can make existing vessels semi autonomous, fully autonomous, or remotely operable." India and Germany reaffirmed their commitment to enhance military to military cooperation with a focus on developing defense ties as a key pillar of strategic partnership. Co chairing a High Defense Committee meeting in New Delhi, Defense Secretary Rajesh Kumar Singh and German State Secretary Jean Ploner discussed a range of bilateral security and defense issues, including priority areas of co development and co production of defense equipment. According to the Ministry of Defense, both sides emphasized on the need for a closer defense partnership and connecting the industry of both nations, especially in the field of niche technology. It added that Germany will be participating in Tarang Shakti, a multinational air combat exercise, and Milan, multinational naval exercise, which is planned next year. The government of Nagaland has announced the United Kingdom as the country partner for the upcoming Hornbill Festival 2025 to be held from 1st to 10th December at Kasmama, Kohima. A formal agreement was signed this week by Chief Minister of Nagaland Nifuyu Rio and Country Director India British Council Alison Barrett in the presence of British High Commissioner to India Lindy Cameron and senior representative from both sides at New Delhi. Under this partnership, the British Council, working with the British Deputy High Commission in Kolkata, will curate meaningful programming for the festival, including bringing an artist from the UK to participate in the festivals. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres has opposed the death penalty imposed on the ousted Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina in absentia by the country court. During his daily media brief, UN Chief Spokesperson Stephanie Dujarric said the United Nations stands against the use of death penalty in all circumstances. The 78-year-old politician was tried in her absence by the country's International Crimes Tribunal in Dhaka for alleged crimes against humanity over the violent crackdown during the students led protest last year. She is currently living in exile. Alongside Ms. Hasina, Bangladesh's former minister Asaduzzaman Khan Kamal, also sentenced to death in absentia in the case last week, while former Inspector General of Police Chaudhry Abdullah Al Mamu, who turned state witness, was sentenced for 5 years of imprisonment. The spokesperson, citing a statement by United Nations Human Rights High Commissioner Volker Turk, said the death penalty was handed down by a local court comprised of solely of Bangladeshi judges that styled itself the International Crime Tribunal, which convicted her crimes against humanity. Electronics and Information Technology Minister Ashwini Vaishnaw held discussions with companies in Singapore this week. In a social media post, Mr. Vaishnav said that Singapore Semiconductor Industry Association is partnering with India to support the country's semiconductor projects. Mr. Vaishnav also held discussions on skilling the technicians and engineers for semiconductor projects with officials and industry bodies. The minister also met Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Trade and Industry of Singapore, Gan Kim Yong. They discussed expanding bilateral cooperation, particularly in emerging technologies domains between the two countries. Miss Mexico Fatima Bosch won the Miss Universe 2025 title in Thailand. Bosch transformed her journey with dyslexia and attention deficit hyperactivity disorder ADHD into a passion for serving others as a long-time volunteer with migrants and vulnerable communities. Miss Venezuela was named the second runner up. Miss Philippines was announced as the third runner up, and Miss Cote de Livor as a fourth. Meanwhile, India's Manika Vishwakarma exited the competition after failing to make it to the top 12 list, extending India's wait for the crown since Harna's Kaur Sandhu's win in 2021. Defense Research and Development Organization DRDO and Director General of Armaments DGA of France this week inked technical agreement to deepen collaboration in defense research and development. The Defense Ministry said this strategic partnership aims to leverage the combined expertise and resources of both nations to develop innovative solutions for further defense challenges. DRDO Chairman Dr. Samir Veed Kamath and Director General of Armament Lieutenant General Gail Diaz de Tusta signed the agreement in New Delhi. Under the agreement, the transfer of equipment technology will be available to both countries. Key areas of cooperation outlined in this agreement include aeronautical platforms, unmanned vehicles, advanced materials for defense application, cybersecurity, artificial intelligence, space, navigation, advanced propulsion, advanced sensors, quantum technologies, underwater technologies, and other areas of mutual interest. The first meeting of the Project Steering Committee on India Bhutan Rail Link project was held in New Delhi this week. In a social media post, Ministry of External Affairs spokesperson Randir Jaiswal said that during the meeting, the deliberations focused on implementing modalities of two rail links envisaged under the project Kokrajhar, Giliphu, and Banaharhat Samaste. The meeting was co-chaired by Additional Secretary North Munu Mahavar and Bhutan Secretary in the Ministry of Infrastructure and Transport Karma Wangchuk. Representatives of the Ministry of Railways as well as the state governments of Assam and West Bengal participated in this meeting. The United States of America has approved the sale of advanced NASAMS missile system to Taiwan. It marks Washington's second major weapon package for Taipei in this week. The medium range air defense system will be a new addition to Taiwan's military capabilities. According to the Pentagon, the contract is fixed price and completion is expected by 2031 with funds obligated from Taiwan's 2026 foreign military sales budget. The deal reinforces US backing of Taiwan at a time of raising regional tensions, including Chinese military activities around the island and disputes involving Japan. Taipei continues to strengthen its defense as it faces sustained pressure from Beijing. The central government this week announced the implementation of four new labor codes aimed to simplify and streamline the existing decades old labor laws in the country. In a social media post, Labor and Employment Minister Dr. Mansukh Mandavia said that the new labor codes will ensure better wages, safety, social security, and welfare for the country's workforce. The Code on Wages 2019, the Industrial Relation Code 2020, the Code on Social Security 2020, and the Operational Safety, Health and Working Condition Code 2020 has come into effect from this week. The ministry said that the four new labor codes will guarantee timely minimum wages of all workers, appointment letters for the youth, equal pay and respect for women, social security for 40 crore workers, and gratuity for a fixed term employees after 1 year of employment. These reforms will also ensure annual health checkups and workers above 40 years of age, double wages for overtime, full coverage health security for workers in hazardous sectors, and guarantee of social justice for workers as per international standards. Agriculture and Farmers Welfare Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan said that there has been a record growth rate of 8% in total food grain output. Mr. Chauhan said this after releasing the final estimates of crop production for 2024-25 in New Delhi this week. The minister said that India has witnessed an increase of over 106 million tons in total food grains output over the last 10 years. He said that the rice production in the country has reached a record level of 1,501 lakh tons, higher than last year's 1,378 lakh tons. Wheat also registered a record growth of 46.53 lakh tons over last year's output of 1,132 lakh tons. First India born cheetah gives birth to five cubs at Kuno National Park in Madhya Pradesh. A major wildlife conservation update has come from Madhya Pradesh, wherein a 33-month-old Indian born female cheetah named Mukhi has given birth to five cubs in Kuno National Park, raising the total number of cheetahs in the country to 32. This achievement is being seen as the biggest success so far for the cheetah reintroduction program launched. India's cheetah revival began on 17 September 2022 when eight cheetahs were brought from the Nambia to Kuno and released in the wild by Prime Minister Modi. India and Israel have signed the terms of reference to initiate negotiation of free trade agreement in Tel Aviv, marking a major step towards deepening bilateral economic cooperation. The terms of reference were signed by the Union Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal and Israeli Economy and Industry Minister Nir Barkat. Speaking on the occasion, Piyush Goyal said that both countries had agreed to begin work on the comprehensive free trade agreement, a move aimed at reshaping bilateral trade and investment. He said that this is the first crucial step towards facilitating talks to conclude a balanced, comprehensive, and mutually beneficial free trade agreement to strengthen and enhance trade, economy, and strategic partnerships. He added that the proposed agreement will open doors to a greater market flow of capital, investments, and trade both in goods and services. The Supreme Court this week held that the courts cannot impose any timelines for decisions of the President and the governors on granting assent to the bills under the Constitution. The Apex Court pronounced its opinion advisory on whether it can impose timelines on the President and state governors for acting on bills passed by the state legislatures. The Supreme Court has opined that courts cannot set timelines for the President and Governor to grant the assent or to the bills passed by the state legislature. A constitutional bench led by Chief Justice B.R. Gawai issued its opinion while answering 13 questions referred to it by the President Draupadi Murmu under Article 143 of the Constitution, pertinently whether timelines can be fixed for governors and the President to grant assent to state bills. The Supreme Court refused to accept the preliminary objections raised by opposition ruled states like Tamil Nadu, West Bengal, and Kerala to maintainability of presidential reference, saying the issues raised in it pertains to the very core of foundational modalities of the constitutional machinery. The center abolished decades-old requirement on sign-on, sign-off, and shore leave passes (SLP) for all Indian vessels exclusively operating in Indian waters. In a office memorandum, the Home Ministry said it has been decided to do away with the sign in, sign off, and SLP for the crew or supernumerary of the Indian flag coastal run vessels, dredgers or barrages, or research vehicles operating within the port. The matter was brought to the notice of Home Ministry that Indian seafarers are facing difficulties with the existing immigration procedures of sign on, sign off, and SLP during the coastal run, as the physical presence of the crew members is required at the immigration office for the issuance of the SLP and its further extension every 10 days, which was creating difficulties for the seafarers in discharging their duties on board the ship. The seventh National Security Advisor level meeting of the Colombo Security Conclave was held in New Delhi this week. National Security Advisor Ajit Doval hosted his counterparts from member states including Maldives, Mauritius, Sri Lanka, and Bangladesh at the conclave. Seychelles participated as an observer state and Malaysia as a guest. The first Secretary General appointed by India presented a comprehensive review of the CSC member states on decision taken at the 6th NSA level meeting in Mauritius in December 2023 and activities undertaken since then under the five pillars of cooperation. These include maritime safety, security, countering terrorism and radicalization, combating traffic and transnational organized crime, cybersecurity and protection of critical infrastructure and technology, and humanitarian assistance and disaster relief. India has expanded its visa on arrival facility for UAE nationals to include Kochi, Calicut, and Ahmedabad international airports, adding to the existing centers in New Delhi, Mumbai, and Kolkata, Chennai, Bengaluru, and Hyderabad. With this move, UAE citizens now have access to visa on arrival at nine major airports across country. The facility is available exclusively to the UAE nationals who have previously obtained an Indian e-visa or a regular paper visa. UAE citizens arriving in India under the scheme may stay for up to 60 days and can enter for tourism, business, conference, or medical purposes. The visa allows double entry within 60 days. Applicants must hold a passport with a minimum validity of 6 months and may be asked to produce proof of funds, accommodation, and return or onward travel. A high level Afghan delegation led by Minister of Industry and Commerce Al-Hajj Nuruddin Azizi visited Indian International Trade Fair this week. The visit of the Afghan minister is aimed at strengthening bilateral trade and investment ties. Managing Director of Indian Trade Promotional Organization Neeraj Kharwal briefed him on the ongoing fair, available facilities, and opportunities of Afghanistan to participate in future exhibitions. The minister toured various stalls at the fair, including the Afghan stall showcasing local products to promote business connections. Mr. Azizi interacted with Afghan traders in India to discuss market access and expansion prospects. This visit is the first by an Afghan minister to ITPO since 2021, set against escalating Afghan Pakistan tensions, including border closure disrupting exports. This has prompted Afghanistan to diversify trade with India. The Indian Army has secured intellectual property rights for a new design coat combat. The Ministry of Defense said that three layered garment incorporates advanced technical textiles and features an ergonomic design tailored to improve comfort, mobility, and operational efficiency in diverse climatic and tactical conditions. The ministry said that the new garments designed and developed by the National Institute of Fashion Technology represents a leap forward in the integration of combat functionality with comfort and protection. A new report by the US China Economic and Security Review Commission has accused China of orchestrating a disinformation campaign in the aftermath of Operation Sindoor. The advisory body to the US Congress stated that Beijing used fake social media accounts to circulate AI generated images portraying fabricated aircraft debris, allegedly to undermine sale of French Rafale jets and promote its own J-35 fighters. The report said China also sought to exploit India Pakistan conflict in May this year to highlight the sophistication of its weapon and amid ongoing border tensions with India. Operation Sindoor was launched by India in response to the Pahalgam terror attack, in which 26 innocents were killed. Indian Air Force Chief AP Singh later confirmed that the Indian forces destroyed five Pakistani fighter jets and a major surveillance aircraft. And finally, Science and Technology Minister Dr. Jitendra Singh this week launched country's first indigenous CRISPR-based gene therapy for sickle cell disease, which primarily affects country's tribal population. The therapy, named Birsa 101, is dedicated to the Bhagwan Birsa Munda, whose 150th anniversary was observed on the 15th of this month. Addressing the gathering, the minister said, the country has formally begun its decisive journey towards becoming a sickle cell disease free nation, making a historic turning point in the country's public health and genomic medical landscapes.
Well, that's all, friends, for this week's updates. See you soon next Sunday on the same channel. Till then, take care. Bye bye.